is breaking loose in America as more and more people can't keep up with their bills, and new reports show that many are resorting to desperate measures to be able to get by. The cost of living in the United States is rising much faster than workers' paychecks, and our standard of living is rapidly deteriorating. Our country has reached a stage where only the elites are thriving, while everyone else is being financially eviscerated. For most people, it's been a real fight just to be able to put enough food on the table to feed their children. At this point, the majority of the population is deep in debt, and record high interest rates are only adding to people's problems. Millions of hard-working Americans feel like they're drowning. Sadly, many of them don't even realize that the game was designed against them and in benefit of just the few. At the moment, about 2/3 of Americans considered middle class say they're facing economic hardship and don't anticipate a change for the rest of their lives. That's according to a recent poll commissioned by the National True Cost of Living Coalition. In a study of 2,500 adults, 65% of people who earn more than 200% of the federal poverty level, that's at least $60,000 for a family of four, often considered middle class, revealed that they are struggling financially in 2024. A sizable share of higher-income Americans also feel financially insecure. The survey shows that a quarter of people making over 5 times the federal poverty level, an annual income of more than $150,000 for a family of four, are worried about paying their bills on time. Many Americans are still gasping for air financially, highlights Jennifer Jones Austin, Chief Executive Officer of the Federation of Protestant Welfare Agencies. They simply don't have the breathing room to plan beyond their present needs. Researchers also found that nearly 40% of respondents are unable to plan beyond their next paycheck, and 46% don't even have $500 saved. At the same time, more than half said it's difficult to manage current levels of debt. It's no secret that making ends meet is getting increasingly harder for everyone, but some groups are being hit harder than others. The 2024 Financial Literacy Survey by Go Banking Rates has shown that nearly 40 million Americans do not currently bring in enough money to cover their bills, and 46% of the population is barely bringing in enough to cover their bills. The generations struggling the most are Generation X, between 44 and 59 years of age, and baby boomers, who are between 60 and 78. Let's take a closer look at the survey's findings. Out of younger Generation X's, who are 45 to 54 years old, 17% claim they don't make enough money to cover their bills. Out of older Generation X's, who are 55 to 59, 18% don't earn enough money to get by. Meanwhile, out of younger boomers, who are 60 to 64, 18% are unable to cover their monthly expenses. The same is true for 7% of older boomers aged 65 or more. Amongst those who report being able to pay their bills, close to half, 48%, say they are barely scraping by. Aaron Saxena, founder and CEO of MDRN Capital, said that Generation X's face unique financial challenges compared to other generations. He explained that Generation X is considered the sandwich generation, which means they're caught between supporting their adult children and aging parents, including those residing in retirement homes. They also may have learned financial habits from the baby boomers, who we are learning may not have been the most fiscally responsible, Saxena argued. Boomers faced a lot of economic downturns and may not have prioritized their finances, forcing Generation Xers to figure out finances by themselves. The executive added that boomers don't have the best record economically due to the financial and economic turmoil present during their working years. The downturns of the economy, unstable markets, and fluctuating employment during their peak working years have left many boomers with little retirement savings and limited financial security, he explained. Not to mention the increase in healthcare costs that they may be encountering now. Unfortunately, cash-strapped Americans will have to tighten their budgets even further because another monthly expense is about to go up in price. While the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration forecasts above normal temperatures for most of the U.S. in the coming months, experts are warning that summer energy prices will be even more unaffordable. The cost of cooling continues to increase as rising summer temperatures continue to break national records, said Mark Wolf, NEATA Executive Director. The price of oil, which influences the price of electricity, recently cracked $85 per barrel, reaching the highest level since October amid Mid-East tensions. J.P. Morgan analysts expect oil to hover nearly $90 this month, but acknowledge there's a risk that prices will head near $100 by September. Extreme heat causes more deaths each year than any other weather event, including floods, hurricanes, and tornadoes, according to the National Weather Service. The cost of summer cooling is going up due to the unprecedented rising of summer temperatures, the executive added. At the moment, more than 1 out of 6 households, or 21.12 million families, are already behind on paying their energy bills, NEATA reported. The national average balance rose to a record $20.3 billion in December from $17.7 billion at the start of 2023. Now in March, the percentage of families with children who struggled to pay their energy bills also jumped to 25.6%, suggesting the end of the enhanced child tax credits, as well as other pandemic income support programs, are having a direct impact on their ability to pay basic expenses, Wolf said. With bills piling up on top of each other, consumer debt levels are soaring. On Friday, Chicago Federal Reserve President Austin Goolsbee said that the central bank is concerned about the rate of consumer delinquencies, or missed or late payments on expenses such as auto loans, credit card bills, and rent. If the delinquency rate of consumer loans starts rising further, that's often a leading indicator for things are about to get worse, he said at a moderated panel hosted by the Society for Advancing Business Editing and Writing. Over the last quarter, credit card debt rose by $143 billion. The rate at which credit cards and auto loans are transitioning into delinquency have continued to top pre-pandemic levels. In fact, delinquency transition rates rose for all debt types, with the exception of student loans. The pickup in credit card debt and delinquencies is consistent with the idea that consumers, particularly those within the bottom of the income and wealth distributions, are running out of surplus savings and turning back to credit to finance their spending, wrote Evercore ISI in a Monday note. Last month, Wells Fargo conducted a study asking how Americans are faring financially in the current economy, and 67% said they're cutting back on spending. Additionally, almost half, or 45%, say they've put some life plans on hold. A third, 35%, have dipped into their savings or investments, and almost two-thirds, 62%, say that after paying their bills, they have little left over for extras. The data tells us that Americans, no matter who they are uncertain about the sustainability of their financial lives, said Michael Learsh, head of advice and planning for Wells Fargo. This growing uncertainty is putting many families on edge, Desperate times lead to desperate measures, and new reports uncover the explosive rise in criminal offenses across the country. In the world's wealthiest nation, many people are stealing to survive. Law enforcement reports show that theft rates have more than tripled since 2021. This is especially true for retail theft. As a consequence, many companies are having to lay off their employees and shut down stores in response to this alarming trend. More than 2,600 retail stores have been closed this year, and many of them were shuttered because they have become unprofitable due to the relentless rise in shoplifting cases. Over the past couple of years, CEOs have been complaining very loudly about it, but local governments have been failing to address the problem. Recently, Walmart CEO warned rampant retail theft would lead to more store closures and higher prices. Target CEO said it was costing the chain upward of $1 billion. Meanwhile, Home Depot's finance chief called it a consistent pressure that the chain is tackling every day. With a backdrop of viral videos showing brazen thieves, crime has become a common theme on retailers' quarterly earnings calls. Executives often mention a phrase called shrink, inventory missing for one reason or another as a factor behind poor financial results. Now, this list includes big names like Macy's, Best Buy, Dick's Sporting Goods, TJ Maxx, Dollar General, and so on. The issue is getting worse year after year. Official reports reveal that revenue lost to theft has been steadily rising since 2016, and shrink is now costing our retailers more than $100 billion a year. To put that in perspective, that's about the size of Russia's entire military budget for 2024. No wonder why so many famous brands are filing for bankruptcy this year. We've never seen anything like this before. Just in the first 4 months of 2024, retailers in New York City have filed more than 21,000 shoplifting complaints. That's a 5% increase over last year's obscene 20,552. More than 41% of the 2024 crimes are concentrated in Manhattan. Full-year numbers since 2021 have jumped from 43,892 to 59,137. That's an increase of almost 35%, and the real problem is surely far higher, considering that many exhausted merchants don't even bother to report incidents anymore. Conditions are even worse on the West Coast. In California, store manager Amber Jolly says that businesses in Santa Monica are closing left and right because of all this looting going on. The system is broken. Nothing is being done about it, she stressed. As the economic recession deepens, more chaos is about to erupt all around us. It's hard to imagine what things will be like once tens of millions of people feel like they've nothing left to lose. It seems that we're marching towards a horrifying societal meltdown. Most of the population is not even close to ready for what is coming. With inflation making every aspect of our daily lives even more difficult, financial analysts are saying this is the terminal phase of the current credit cycle, and what's ahead will be even more devastating. During an interview with Bloomberg, Mark Spitznagel, Chief Investment Officer of Universal Investments, said that we're witnessing the greatest credit bubble in human history. Credit bubbles end, he says. They pop. There's no way to stop them from popping, he emphasized, adding that the Fed has brought the economy to a place where there's no turning back. Spitznagel is right. There really is no turning back now. The U.S. government has broken the greatest economic machine in the history of the world. What is next for us is a tremendous amount of pain. So those who think that things are bad now should just wait until we're in the middle of a full-blown recession. Ladies and gentlemen, we are entering a time when our economic slide will become an economic avalanche. And once things start falling apart, the collapse will be brutal. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and share this with friends and family.